Good morning. Welcome to 4x8 Paper Stuff. This is Beth. We are in a creative mixed media art journal, a traveler's notebook size, following the words and wisdom of Mark Twain in his book, Following the Equator. Sit down, enjoy, and let's see where we go.
Good morning. Bear with me while I make a log. I love the idea of this old paper a la made last weekend in reality, and charts, and that brings out my inner Jose. For those of you who don't know, I'm a huge fan of Jose Naranja and his beautiful journals, and the chart aspect is part of something that he does sometimes, and his journals are extremely organized and very uh, organized. I am not organized, but I like the idea of faking it every once in a while. And today I'm going to fake it. And today's chapter, I talk a little bit later on in the video, but it's really a documentation and an opinion chapter, which he has a lot of those throughout this book, because it is a book of his thoughts and his tangents on social economics and political things and religious things and things of the time. But along the way, he does document a little bit of traveling, and that's the part I picked up on and working with in this travel journal, as I've already explained. But the idea of a chart along the way makes my heart sing. So today I'm making charts and just documenting his travels. I keep forgetting these aren't me along the way. You've seen me make over the last 2 days my ship's log, or our, I'm going to sneeze, or our logbook, or whatever. But it's just the day, the chapter, the pages, the date we did it, and the topic of each little spread. So my idea is, because today he talks about what does he talk about? Okay, he talks about a murder trial and the plague still, and he talks also about there's only one India and how there's so many things that can be attributed back to India. Some good, some not so good, and some religion, some not religion, some languages, some not languages, and then there's a tiny little bit here about temples again, and sculptured colonnades and statuary. So I'm kind of thinking I'm okay to dedicate this chapter to a pocket and pretty paper and include all these logs as we go through the rest of the book. This is us so far, 3 pages, so I guess there'll be about a page and a half left. And do some kind of, I think I'm going to do a pocket that kind of has a triangular slant to it, and then I'll just tuck these down in there. So it's going to be simple because I'm going to just glue paper. Now I could have I love doing a pocket that slides in from the side, and it kind of is incognito until you see that there's 2 pieces of paper here, which I'm thinking kind of like, because I just like that idea. Maybe that's what we'll do. So let me see. I'm going to use some of the paper that I've been making just because I'm getting a rather large supply of it. In fact, let's do this for them. This is that same piece of we just used that piece of burlap here yesterday. But it had pink lines across it, so it looks kind of different. Do we want to do that? Oh, you know what? Let's back all that off. This one, is just script. And it's somebody's script, and it's in some language, but I can't read it. But that would look good because we are going to put script in the pocket. Our script. Let's do that. So how am I going to do this? Let's take off the white. And we need 8 inches. It's very highly measured here. That I can use for something else. Let's take this off. That's still good right there. I'm okay with throwing these away. All right, now I need to divide this in half. And let's use this coffee ink because it's just a pretty color with this ancient parchment paper from India. It had a beautiful letter written on it to somebody. One of my bucket list dreams is to take a train trip through like the tea country of India. I would love to do that. All right, now I'm going to put this one down, and then when I put this one down, I'm going to put double-sided tape like that so I can go in from the edge. And I might, you know what I might do too? Where's my little, here it is. I'm going to also poke half a circle so that it designates it. Oh dear, that paper's too thin. As a circle, as a pocket. But my thing's not sharp enough. Well, it is sharp enough. It's just the paper was thin. It's easier to punch paper in thicker holes. All right, let's ink that up. Okay. And you know what I'm going to do too? I've seen somebody do this lately. Because that's going to look oddly pristine. We don't want that. So I'm just going to do this. And the oddly pristine has vanished. Oh yeah. Good. I can throw that away too. I'm okay with that. That is pretty. All right, let's take this one down. And that's this one. And I really don't know what language this is. I'm assuming this is the top. There's a question mark and it starts up there, so let's not put our question mark upside down. Although in Spanish they do, don't they? Is this I don't think it's Spanish. It's more like fancy French script or something. I don't know. I just was watching an art video. There's a show in the United States. It was on PBS. I don't know if it still is or not, called Craft in America. And they had themes. It was out a while ago, several years ago. And it's a beautiful show. But the theme that I just finished watching was called Service. And it was different craftsmen and things that they did as part of their rehab after coming back from a war. Whether that was... Now I'm going to put the tape around these three sides. And I think I'm going to go with a skinnier one so my stuff can slide in good. And it was all different wars. World War II, Vietnam, Gulf Wars, Desert Storms, all of that. But they just had a lady. They interviewed a lady that made... She took women's uniforms, and the women were part of the project. They had to help. She took women's uniforms and shredded them. Not shredded, but cut them up into tiny pieces and then turned it into pulp and made paper. And then out of that paper, she made paper dolls, but she did the whole project in a book. And each soldier, okay, I don't want to put tape on the other side. Each woman that was represented, that was her uniform, shredded, made pulp. Her story was put in the book, and then her and her uniform on a piece of paper that was made out of her uniform. I thought that was fascinating. I'd never thought of making paper out of fabric. But, I mean, they've been doing it for a very long time now. And I'll tell you something else, too. You know how I kept getting off a couple days? I found 2 days where I repeated the same day when I write, like day 2700 or whatever right here. I'd done the same day twice, 2 different times. Like, oh, no wonder I got off. Ooh. Okay, we have room to mess with here. Got a tad too long. One must measure things in life sometimes. Anyhow, this is just composition notebook paper, but it's grid. And I watercolored it. And when I do that, I saturate the paper completely with water. And then I just drop color down. And the cheaper the composition paper, the better the lines on the composition paper run. And depending on, you know, the different colors you put in and the ink running from the paper lines, makes beautiful paper, in my opinion. And hard to beat that sound. Love that sound. All right, let's see. There. Come on. Well, okay, they're a little bit wider. I think I can trim them all down just a tiny bit on this one side because this column was a little bit wider. Hopefully that'll be just enough. To get them in here. Pretty darn good. And then they stick out a little bit, so really we didn't have to do any of that. vanishing of the pristine. But that's okay. That's okay. All right, now this is day 38. And if that's off, it's fine. It's not a deal breaker for me. And I'm going to put, somewhere I'm just going to put charts. Now, can I write it like this fancy wording here? I doubt it, but let's get rid of this pristine section of white here. All right. Just really fancy and loose. And I don't know if there's a C or something that looks like a C. That's too sloppy. Okay, I don't know. We'll see. This could go awry here. Deep breaths. Okay, that's good enough. I don't know what language this is. I don't know what font this is, but it's foreign of some kind. I had to throw a little bit of South Carolina a la Mark Twain, a la American English onto this beautiful paper. Oh, that was coordinates with our charts. Oh, I could have put logs. Oh well. We'll just stick with charts. Cool. Now I have to make another chart page for this page and the rest of them. That was fun. Look how pretty already. Oh, thanks for watching. See you all tomorrow.